All right, so today we're going to take a deep dive into the world of Starbucks. They're making some big changes to their customer experience. CEO Brian Niccol's Back to Starbucks plan. So, Starbucks has been struggling a little bit lately.
Right, their sales?
Sales have been declining, yeah.
Oh.
And in fact, their comparable store sales in the U.S. were down 3% last quarter.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're really underperforming compared to some of their competitors.
Interesting.
And Niccol is trying to get things back on track.
Okay.
By bringing back that cozy local coffeehouse feel that Starbucks was really known for in the beginning.
Right.
But he's also trying to make things more efficient and streamline operations.
Yeah, make things faster.
Exactly. It's a tough balance.
It is.
So we're going to look at those changes specifically, like cutting a ton of items from the menu.
Oh, wow.
Bringing back ceramic mugs and handwritten notes on cups.
Interesting.
Yeah, and even ending their open door policy.
No more just hanging out there.
Exactly. You actually have to buy something now to hang out in a Starbucks.
Okay.
So we'll look at how all of this might impact customers, employees, and the whole coffee industry.
Big picture.
Big picture. Exactly. So let's unpack this Back to Starbucks plan.
Okay.
One of the articles quotes Niccol as saying he wants to recapture that welcoming coffeehouse experience.
Okay.
People gather and, they can enjoy a handcrafted coffee made by skilled baristas.
Yeah, going back to the roots.
Like going back to their roots, yeah.
It's a smart move, especially now, because like you said, the coffee scene has changed so much since Starbucks first became a big name.
Exactly.
Back then, they were the ones who really came up with this third place idea.
Right, between work and home.
Yeah, a place that's not home, but somewhere you could relax and connect with people.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And now they're facing a ton of competition from these local chains.
Right.
That have really embraced that community feel.
Right.
And, customers now, they're looking for different things.
Sure.
They're more picky about their coffee.
Yeah, much more.
They care about sustainability and ethical sourcing. So Starbucks has to show that they can change with the times.
Right. They can't just do what they've always done.
It's not enough to just try to replicate the past.
Yeah. Exactly. They need to innovate to stay competitive.
So let's look at some of these specific changes and see how they're trying to do that.
Okay. Sounds good.
The first one is the menu cuts. They're cutting 30% of their menu items.
Wow. That's a lot.
That's a huge change.
Yeah.
It's a pretty clear sign that they're focusing on efficiency.
Right.
I mean, think about it.
Okay.
A smaller menu means baristas don't have to do as much.
Sure.
Service is faster.
Uh-huh.
There are fewer chances for mistakes.
It's just streamlined.
It's classic streamlining.
Yeah.
But what about the customers?
Right. Are they going to be happy about this?
Are they going to feel like they have fewer options?
That's what I'm wondering, especially those people who have a specific drink they always get.
I know those Starbucks loyalists.
Exactly. But I guess Starbucks is hoping that faster service and a more streamlined experience.
Make it worth it.
Yeah, that it outweighs the fact that there might be a few less options.
Okay, so maybe in this case, less is more?
Maybe so.
But then they're doing these other things that seem to go against that idea.
Oh, like what?
Like bringing back ceramic mugs for in-store orders.
Oh, okay.
And encouraging baristas to write personalized notes on cups.
Huh.
It's like they're trying to create a more personal, kind of old-fashioned coffeehouse vibe.
Right. It's interesting because it seems like they're doing two opposite things.
Exactly.
On the one hand, they're trying to make things more efficient.
Streamlining.
Yeah. And on the other hand, they want to make the experience more personal and warm.
Right. So who are they trying to appeal to?
That's the question.
The people who just want their caffeine fix quickly, or the people who want to linger and enjoy the atmosphere?
That's a good question.
Can they really do both effectively?
Yeah. Right. I mean, won't all this extra stuff slow things down and create more work for the baristas?
That's what I'm wondering.
It's all about execution. If they can make it work, it could be great.
Right.
But if it just creates confusion, it could backfire.
Okay, so let's talk about another change that seems to be going for that traditional coffeehouse feel.
Okay.
They're bringing back free refills.
Oh, wow.
For brewed coffee and tea.
I remember when that was a thing.
I know.
Yeah.
It's back. And this time it's for everyone, not just rewards members.
Oh, wow.
They're also bringing back self-serve condiment bars.
Oh, I like that.
I know. I kind of miss being able to customize my drink exactly how I want it.
Me too. It just makes sense,
It gives people more control.
Yeah. And it reminds me of those old coffee shops.
But won't that create more mess?
That's true.
And how will they stop people from taking advantage of the free refills?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm curious about the logistics of all this.
Me too. It'll be interesting to see how they handle it.
Okay, so we've got menu cuts, personalized touches, free refills, condiment bars.
Okay.
What's next?
What else are they changing?
Well, let's talk about mobile ordering.
Oh, yeah.
They're rethinking that whole system.
I can see why.
It can be really frustrating.
It is.
You place your order, you get an estimated wait time, and then you end up waiting way longer than you expected.
Always.
So they're thinking about switching to scheduled pickup times. You would choose a time slot to pick up your order.
Like reserving a table.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Interesting.
What do you think about that?
Well, it could make things more efficient.
Right.
And give customers more control. But it also takes away some of the spontaneity.
Yeah, some people just want to grab their coffee on the go.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see how people adapt if they actually implement this.
For sure.
Okay, so now the change that everyone's talking about, the end of the open door policy.
Yeah.
You know that thing where you could just hang out in the Starbucks all day even if you didn't buy anything?
Yeah.
That's over.
Wow.
As of January 27th, you have to buy something to stay there.
Okay.
And this wasn't just a random decision.
Right. There must have been a reason.
There were some incidents where people were taking advantage of the policy and creating an unsafe environment for customers and employees.
Yeah.
There were even cases of people using the restrooms for drug use and other illegal activity.
Oh, geez, that's not good.
So they had to do something.
Right. They had to protect their customers and employees.
Exactly. It's a sensitive issue, but it's important to understand why they made this change.
I agree.
They're trying to balance creating a welcoming space for paying customers.
Right.
And ensuring everyone's safety.
Makes sense.
It raises some questions about the role of Starbucks in society.
Yeah.
I mean, they've always seen themselves as this third place.
Right.
But as times change, they have to adapt.
For sure.
It's not just a place to grab coffee anymore.
Yeah, they have to deal with these complex social issues.
And figure out how to create a space that works for everyone.
Exactly. A lot to consider.
And finally, let's talk about the rewards program.
Okay.
They're cutting back on those BOGO deals and promotions.
Oh, the ones we all love.
I know.
Yeah.
It seems like they're trying to be more of a premium brand.
Right. Those discounts don't really fit with that image.
And I know some people are going to be upset about this.
Yeah. Who doesn't love a good deal?
But from Starbucks' point of view, it makes sense.
I guess so.
They're basically saying, we're confident in our product.
Yeah.
We don't need to constantly offer discounts.
Yeah. They're trying to create a sense of value and exclusivity.
Exactly. Which is hard to do when you're always having promotions.
True.
Okay. So we've covered a lot here.
Yeah. Menu cuts, personalized touches, free refills, the open door policy rewards program changes.
A lot to think about.
It is.
But what do you think?
What's your take?
Are all these changes going to help or hurt Starbucks in the long run?
That's a tough question.
It is.
I mean, there are so many factors to consider.
Right.
Competition, consumer preferences, the economy, social trends.
It's complicated.
It really is. There's no magic formula.
Yeah.
But it's clear that Starbucks is trying to change.
They're willing to make bold moves to adapt and try to recapture their success.
Yeah.
Whether or not it works remains to be seen.
We'll have to wait and see.
And we'll talk more about that in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, it's a big gamble.
It is a huge gamble.
They're hoping that they can create a more premium experience that people will pay more for.
Justify those higher prices.
Exactly. But will they lose their loyal customers in the process?
That's the big question. And this could really change the whole industry.
How so?
If Starbucks can successfully become a more upscale brand, then other coffee chains might have to change their strategies too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so we've talked about the customer experience a lot. But what about the employees?
Right.
We can't forget about those layoffs at Starbucks headquarters.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Niccol says it's all about creating smaller, more agile teams.
Okay.
But how are these layoffs going to affect company culture and morale?
Yeah, I mean, layoffs are never easy.
Especially when they're happening at the same time as all these other big changes.
Exactly. It creates uncertainty.
Right, and anxiety for the employees.
They might worry about their jobs being secure.
Yeah, and that can definitely affect their motivation and how productive they are.
Absolutely, and that could trickle down to the customer experience.
Exactly.
If the employees aren't happy and feeling supported, it's going to be hard for them to create that welcoming atmosphere.
Which is what Starbucks is going for.
Exactly. So while streamlining might be good for the business in the long run, Starbucks needs to be careful about how these layoffs affect their employees.
For sure.
They need to communicate with them, be transparent.
Right, and provide support to the people who are losing their jobs.
It's all about finding that balance between efficiency and taking care of your people.
I agree.
Okay, so we've talked about customers, employees, the industry as a whole.
Uh-huh.
But let's zoom out even further and think about the global picture.
Okay.
Starbucks wants to expand internationally.
Right.
But they've had some trouble in certain markets.
Like where?
Like in China.
Oh, yeah.
They're up against some tough competition from local chains like Luckin Coffee.
Right. Those local chains can be tough to beat.
And this just shows how important it is to adapt to different preferences.
Sure. What works in one place might not work somewhere else.
Exactly. What works in the U.S. might not work in China or other countries.
Exactly.
So how can Starbucks balance staying true to their brand and still appeal to local tastes?
That's the challenge, isn't it?
It is.
They need to find ways to use local flavors and ingredients and be sensitive to different cultural norms and customs.
It's about really understanding the local market and being willing to adjust your approach.
It's like they need to be chameleons.
Yeah, blend in but still be themselves.
Exactly. Adaptability is key.
For sure.
Okay, so we've talked about customer experience, employee impact industries, trends, the global landscape.
A lot of ground covered.
We have, but I want to go back to something you said earlier.
What's that?
About the importance of innovation.
Oh.
Starbucks can't just rely on their old menu and that cozy atmosphere.
No, they have to keep up with the times.
They need to constantly evolve and stay ahead of the curve.
Exactly. Innovation is essential for any business that wants to stay competitive.
Especially in a fast-paced industry like coffee.
For sure. They need to experiment with new brewing methods, new flavors.
Even new partnerships or acquisitions that could help them grow.
Yeah, they can't just sit back and relax.
Think about all those plant-based milk alternatives. They've become so popular.
Huge.
Starbucks needs to be at the forefront of those trends.
Absolutely.
They need to be leading the way.
Not just following everyone else.
Exactly. So innovation is crucial.
Agreed.
But what about sustainability?
Yeah, that's a big one these days.
Consumers really care about it.
They do.
Starbucks has made some progress with ethical sourcing.
Okay.
And reducing their environmental impact.
Uh-huh.
But can they really be a leader in this area?
Well, they've set some ambitious goals.
Like what?
Using 100% ethically sourced coffee and reducing their carbon footprint by 50% by 2030.
Those are some big goals.
They are.
But are they realistic?
That's the question. And how transparent are they being about their progress?
That's what consumers want to know.
Exactly. They want transparency and accountability.
They want to know where their coffee is coming from.
Right. How it's made.
And what impact it's having on the environment.
And on the communities where it's produced.
It's not enough to just say you care about sustainability.
No, you have to show it.
And be willing to be held accountable.
Absolutely. And it's not just about environmental sustainability.
What else is there?
Social sustainability.
What do you mean by that?
Making sure the farmers and workers are treated fairly.
Okay.
And paid a living wage.
Right.
Supporting the communities where coffee is grown. Investing in programs that help people.
So it's about the whole supply chain.
Yes, from the very beginning to the end.
And consumers are paying attention to this.
More and more every day.
So it seems like Starbucks has a lot to deal with.
Yeah, they do.
They're trying to recapture that old magic.
That made them so successful.
But the world is changing.
Practically.
And consumers are more demanding than ever.
It's a tough balancing act.
It is. It'll be interesting to see how they handle it all.
I agree. It's a story that's still unfolding.
Yeah, it really feels like a turning point for Starbucks.
Yeah, like a crossroads.
Trying to figure out, like you said, who they are and what they want to be in this ever-changing world of coffee.
Right.
And it's not just about coffee anymore, right?
No, it's about community.
Community.
Election.
Sustainability.
Sustainability. Social responsibility.
It's a lot.
It is. They're trying to balance all these big ideas with, the reality of running a huge business.
A global business, yeah.
Yeah.